Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of KPW War Zone, as I take the styles calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And tonight is looking to be quite the night of tension and tumultuous combat, as we will see one hell of a main event unfold in front of our very eyes here tonight, as two of KPW's biggest and brightest stars will be clashing in the center of the ring as part of our main event. Pierre Cinema will be going one-on-one against Cory Sinclair, and that's not all regarding the King of Stego style. We're hoping to finally get some answers to some questions that people have been asking, pondering about, hoping to get some closure for ever since the events of Madhouse, where we seemingly saw this man snap, trying to overcome a 500-pound man beast. And Roger, our resident interviewer, he's been able to secure some time with the King of Stego style, Cory Sinclair, to get some answers later on tonight. But also to come later on in the evening, tag team action, as the former two-time KPW tag team champions, the Boise Boyz, re-enter the fray as they take on the team of Oliver English, Hosway, representing Parliament, as they make a strong endeavor, a hard olive branch towards championship gold, towards faction dominance. And that's not the only championship implication at play here tonight. We will be seeing the Hardcore Championship on the line tonight, as the Scrapyard Saint goes one-on-one against the Misfit, where Parliament failed last week at Wrestle Scream, with Papyrus failing to beat Bawb for the Hardcore Championship. Bunker Hill aims to step in and take advantage of this situation, as Solo will be going one-on-one against Bawb for the gold later on tonight. But to kick off tonight's events here, ladies and gentlemen, we will be seeing the director, Steven Gielberg, in action. And before we could break anything else down any further than it needs to be, we could just get right down to ringside, where I understand that Steven Gielberg is ready to call out anyone and everybody to further establish himself here at the expense of his bitter rival, Pierre Cinema. Steven Gielberg, he's been making one hell of an attempt to make Pierre Cinema's life a living hell these past several weeks, trying to blackmail his way to the top. Still continuing that endeavor, as it seems. But if he's gonna be able to talk the talk, now he needs to walk the walk.
Shut your damn mouths and listen to a man who actually holds power around here. Pierre has been running his mouth about how I've been bluffing my way to the top. He claims that I wouldn't be able to succeed at his level because I've done nothing to earn it. Well, in case Madhouse wasn't enough of a ringer for Pierre, let tonight stand as the genesis of two very crucial things in KPW history. Starting with the downfall of Pierre Cinema. Roll the footage.
Roll the footage? What the hell is this? We're getting some electrical
Pierre
interference
got to the
there.
monkeys in the truck first. This institution has been rotted from the inside out by hanging on to every word that silver-tongued snake spits out. No worries. I will personally make sure that all the dirty laundry gets aired out for the world to see. November 29th, collision course. That is your deadline, Pierre. If you don't want that information to come to the light, you're gonna step back into the ring with me that night and lay down for me in the center of the ring.
The hell kind of demands is Steven Gielberg?
Which brings me to my second point tonight. Let today be the launching pad for the director. Pierre doesn't think I could break on through to the top. I challenge anybody in the back to step up and call their shot. I don't care who you are. Your contributions will not go uncredited. Who's it gonna be back there?
Making a call to anybody to answer the challenge here. Who's gonna step up to the director? Oh my God! We've heard rumors about this man signing with KPW for quite some time. And the time has finally arrived. It's opulence. He's grabbing a microphone.
Who the hell are you supposed to be?
You want to know who the hell I am? I've traveled the world as the Diamond Dragon. I've worked my fingers to the bone to get here. My name is Opulence, and I possess something that you will never have.
Well, okay then. Opulence. What do you think you possess that I can never have?
Loaded question
Class,
for sure.
Style, and I'm going to use both to drop you on your ass.
Opulence clearly isn't holding back here. The Diamond Dragon is here, and he's taking the fight to Steven Gielberg. Give him hell! Big shoulder block into the turnbuckle. He's looking to run all four corners with the director here. Taking him down with a reverse armbar. And Steven Gielberg, I don't think he was even remotely prepared to see this man standing across the ring from him here tonight. Big spine on the pine from Opulence to Steven Gielberg. And now he zeroes in on those knees of the director. We've seen them braced up ever since he's made his arrival here in KPW. And Opulence, he's got speed, he's got quick wit, he's got the athleticism. Gutbuster onto the director. He's taking the fight right to him, and this would be one hell of an impact if he puts away the director in short notice. Working double time here tonight. Big drop kick takes Steven Gielberg off the apron. Opulence sizing him up. And Steven Gielberg catches him on his descent from the top rope down to the floor. And now he's using those braces on the knees to inflict even more pressure with that figure four leg lock.
12, 13, 14.
Opulence, he has quite a lot to prove here in KPW. He's wrestled and traveled around the world as the Diamond Dragon. And he is in absolute top condition here tonight, peak condition. Looking like $1 million out here against Steven Gielberg. He's got class, he's got dignity, but he needs to have the discipline And now he's giving Steven Gielberg a taste of his own medicine with that figure four. Irish whip. Steven Gielberg bringing him down with a sleeper hold. And now he's trying to gouge out the eyes of Opulence. And listen to the hubris that we had on display just moments ago before Opulence even walked right out of that curtain. Steven Gielberg thinks that he's at the forefront here. He's like the main character. He's the hero of his own story. And there's just something especially insulting about that hellacious clothesline from Opulence. Taking down Steven Gielberg, another cover, and another kick out from the director. And I just wanted to say there was something just especially insulting about how Steven Gielberg remarked that whoever stepped through that curtain, whoever wanted to answer the challenge here tonight, their contributions would not go uncredited here. Dragon screw from the top rope. Opulence looking to soar high here. Senton bomb. Looking to move in for the kill, the cover, and another kick out from the director. Steven Gielberg taken aback, taken by surprise by this earth-shattering debut here tonight. As Opulence has joined the fight pit here. Opulence thinking, is he thinking of Frankensteiner? He's going for the Frankensteiner. And an open palm strike taking down Steven Gielberg.
Break.
Like we said before, Steven Gielberg, he did not emerge victorious at Madhouse just 8 nights ago. Excuse me, 9 nights ago.
Break.
And Steven Gielberg, he did get a taste of Pierre Cinema. He was able to bust him open that night. And now he's been trying to find a way to wiggle his way for revenge, try and make his way back to the top here. Back elbow from Opulence. And this has been such an impressive debut here tonight for the Diamond Dragon and Opulence. Steven Gielberg looking to use that overzealousness of Opulence, that eagerness to just go right into combat. There's no resistance, no hesitation whatsoever. He is waiting for Opulence to make the critical mistake. Another senton from the top. And that's all the director needs to capitalize here and just manipulate the outcome of this bout to his advantage here. All he's waiting for is just one critical mistake, one crucial opening, and this match could very well be his. Big boot takes down Opulence. What the hell is Steven Gielberg thinking here? Double arm DDT. We saw that split open Pierre Cinema at Madhouse, and Opulence is back up on his feet. Action spilling to the outside here. He's looking for that corkscrew plancha, and he gets it this time.
4, 5, 6.
Opulence, he's got style, he's got class, and he's got grace.
9.
And it's the last 7.5 minutes have told us anything here tonight. He's looking
12.
to firmly establish
30,
himself in this place at the
40,
expense of Steven
50.
Gielberg. Opulence going up top, diving with the knee, hooking the leg now,
2, count 2.
and yet another kick out from Steven Gielberg.
1, 2,
Steven Gielberg, he may not be the most direct man,
4,
but he's definitely a man that wears his
5,
emotions on his sleeves.
7,
If he has cruel intentions regarding his opponents, you're going to see it unfold here
11,
in and out of the ring however he can here. Single leg Boston Crab on the outside here.
50.
There's no rope breaks. If Opulence taps, there's nothing that the referee can do about it. Even Gielberg suplexes Opulence back into the ring. Now he's picking him up from that supine position. And I think he's calling for the end here. Blue shell bomb. And he's not finished. There's that sadistic side of him coming out in spades here tonight. That vicious deadlift German suplex. And I think enough was enough.
Break.
And look at the pettiness of the director on full display here, on full tilt here tonight. As he's trying to submit this newcomer, this rookie. A man that just joined the folds of our company just in just very recent memory. A second blue shell bomb.
1,
And that
2,
has to be it.
pinfall.
It was a valiant effort from Opulence. He had one hell of a showing here tonight in his debut here for KPW. He certainly wowed the fans and the faithful in the Kumite Forum. But this was just another case example, another exhibit for Steven Gielberg to showcase his sadistic side, and now he's unleashing a flurry of attacks on Opulence, and the bells rang, damn it! You've proven your point! And Opulence, he's trying to make the most out of a bad situation, and who could blame him? Even Gielberg, it almost feels like he's trying to haze Opulence into the folds of this company while also sending a message to Pierre Cinema. If this is what I could do to a man like Opulence, this is exactly what I could do to you in due time at Collision Course. And we're gonna make it abundantly clear that if you don't give in to the demands of the director, he's gonna make damn sure that Pierre Cinema regrets it. That rolling elbow knocking down Opulence. And what the hell does Steven Gielberg have in mind with that table? A second rolling elbow. Referee's calling for the disqualification bell, trying to get security, anybody to intervene here. No, he's not gonna go for a blue shell bomb through the table. He's not gonna go to such depths here. And that's the music of Pierre Cinema, but where the hell is he? Where is Pierre Cinema? He's on top of the announcer's desk. Opulence rolls out of harm's way. Now Pierre Looking to unleash some serious frustrations out on Steven Gielberg. A taste of his own medicine. And then to show it how it's really done, a starstruck DDT onto the director. What the hell is this? Pierre, he's not finished either. The serious amounts of defamation and blasphemy, the libel that Steven Gielberg has been spewing over the past several weeks. This has become very personal for Pierre Cinema, and he's gonna make Steven Gielberg pay here. On top of the announcer's desk, starstruck through the desk. All the papers strewn about here, the monitor's completely busted. Pierre Cinema wants to rid himself of this problem once and for all. I don't think he's gonna back down from a fight. Certainly not the fight that Steven Gielberg wants at Collision Course. As he rushes to the aid of Opulence, who's had one hell of a first night here in KPW. He's certainly got quite a bright future ahead of him here as well. But hopefully, in due time, he won't be looking up at the lights like he did just moments ago. And before we get to the Hardcore Championship action, I understand that we have cameras rolling backstage. We're gonna catch up with Parliament, specifically the secret weapon of Parliament, ahead of the tag team match here tonight, ahead of that olive branch that they've been trying to establish with this man, the man that might go rogue at any moment, Hosway.
Tori, I have to say, that suit looks stunning on you.
Thank you, Hosway. This suit got shipped to me earlier today, and it's the first time I'm wearing it. Did you call me over here just to flirt with me? I heard from Kruger and Papyrus that you had urgent business to discuss.
I didn't wanna chat just so I could flirt around with you. But I do value your input and everything you've done for Parliament and myself. These past few months have not gone the way we hoped it would. And I doubt that the great vision is going to come true anytime soon. But what I wanted to know was how you felt about the situation.
How do I feel about Parliament lately? It hasn't been easy, but it's important that
we do what we can to stick to our great vision. Restoring the balance, doing our best to maintain order and power. Hosway, our compromise isn't going to work out if you aren't going to be direct with me about getting the KPW Tag Team Championships. People think they can just walk all over us, but we have to go out there tonight and remind the world just how dangerous we are. We're fighting more piss and Americans, the Boise Boyz. If we're gonna get title shots now, we gotta meet the board of directors halfway and get our hands dirty. Now let's get to it, bruv.
The lack of hesitation, the motivation, the determination from Oliver English. He knows how valuable of an asset Hosway is to his operation. And speaking of valuable assets, look no further because the Hardcore Championship is on the line. And instead of Parliament challenging for it this week, it's Bunker Hill. The Scrapyard Saint solo is looking to stay one step ahead of Parliament in their faction war. But first, the first thing he has to do, first and foremost, he has to take down a 300-pound misfit for the gold. And out comes the hardcore champion. Quite possibly one of the leanest and meanest son of a guns that we've ever seen hold that hardcore championship. He's brought one hell of a fight each and every night to defend that gold, and tonight will be no different.
Fight.
And the bell sounds. Hardcore championship on the line here. Solo versus Bawb. The action immediately spilling to the outside. Bawb looking to zero in and hone in on the Scrapyard Saint. And for Bawb, this could very well just be another Monday night if he retains the gold here. We've seen him dethrone the King of Stego style, Cory Sinclair, for the gold. Quick sunset flip roll up. But not even a one count this time. Back suplex on the floor. We saw this man dethrone the King of Stego style, Cory Sinclair, for the Hardcore Championship, a record-setting 3-time Hardcore Champion at that. Last month at Euphoria, we saw him take the fight to the director, Steven Gielberg, to retain the gold. And then just last week on Wrestle Scream, we saw Bawb take the fight to a 400-pound Papyrus and emerge victorious. He has been one hell of a champion. He's been quite a ruthless hardcore champion. Big power slam from the champion. And Bawb going right back to that choke. Anything goes under hardcore rules. We know that Solo has quite the backup if needed. He could fall back on Popcorn Poppy. He could fall back on Popo. He could fall back on his tag team partner in K-Dog. But the dynamic that we see on display between Bunker Hill and especially their rivals in Parliament is such a vastly different dynamic, to say the least here. Reverse armbar countered by Bawb. As Solo reaches the ropes with his foot. Bawb tries to put his boot up to block a running attack into the corner. But Solo goes low as when Bawb went high. High-fetched chops from Solo. We're gonna keep the pressure up on the champion. Action spilled to the outside. Solo faking out the hardcore champion, and now he's taking the time to glow and taunt him, trying to get inside the head of the misfit. Some serious mind games here tonight on behalf of the Scrapyard Saint. And Bawb, I don't think he's really let the gravity of this bout really set in here. Solo's been getting the better of him over the course of the past 3.5 minutes. And Bawb needs to shift the momentum of this bout in his favor. His championship is on the line. Solo has everything to gain from this. Big lariat from Bawb. He calls Solo back up to his 2 feet here. Solo hangs on to the ropes after that Irish whip. Solo whips Bawb into the corner himself. Solo was thinking to go for another sunset flip roll-up attempt. Bawb, however, counters with a hellacious electric chair drop. Bawb weighing in tonight at a clean 300 pounds. Solo, well, quite a big man himself. He's still giving a disadvantage of about 40 pounds to the Misfit here tonight. And speaking of championships, we gotta talk about last week at WrestleScreen. That climactic main event, Jedi versus Cory Sinclair, a match that you could catch on Kumite On Demand. Those two went to war just to determine the next #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it seemed like Cory Sinclair had the match won until Chris Billy made a severe outcome and severe impact on the events of that bout. And if we're looking towards severe impact, look no further. Sidewalk slam on the floor. What the hell is this? Last caress. And you can hear the thud of Solo's head cracking the floor outside the ring here. That was absolutely vicious. Solo able to turn the tide at least a little bit with that drop kick. It was just enough to send Bawb out to the floor. Bawb thinking a suplex. Solo goes dead weight. He reverses it, and he's able to let Bawb control his own descent there. Solo's head getting rammed into the apron. And look at the apparel that our hardcore champion is wearing. He is really embracing his role here as one of the most ruthless champions we've ever seen in KPW history. That signature black gear, now adorned with gold trim. Snap suplex from Bawb. And looks to turn the tide of this bout around here. Solo is in rough shape, however. He's quite a resilient man, but who knows how much gas he's got left in the tank after that hellacious last caress choke slam down to the floor. Solo. He's thinking big here. Hurricane Rana, shoulders down. And only a 1 count. That is the difference that we are talking about here tonight regarding our hardcore champion. Whatever impact Solo has been able to make throughout this bout, it's only been marginal compared to what the hardcore champion has been dishing out. Bawb yelling at Solo to give him everything that he's got here. He is barking orders at Solo, and now he's unleashing a flurry of strikes on Solo in the corner here. And there's no 5 count to break it up or anything. Solo is just at the mercy of the hardcore champion. Or an elbow tie up here. Bawb dragging Solo out of the ring here. The hell's Bawb have in mind here? Big splash down to the floor. And what we are seeing here tonight with the Scrapyard Saint, the fact that he was able to get right back up to his feet, that is just nothing short of a miracle. That is 300 pounds of man descending onto you from at least 8 feet in height. And that's not even covering the fact that Bawb went up for that splash. Another hellacious power slam from Bawb. Something's got to give between these two men here tonight. Whose will is going to be stronger here tonight on War Zone? Waistlock transition from Bawb. Deadlift German suplex, and I think Solo just landed on his freaking neck there. Lateral press, that's gotta be it.
Count 2.
And no! Solo is up at 2. With all the punishment that he's been inflicted with the absolute onslaught, this beatdown that Bawb has been able to commence on the Scrapyard Saint, I am in absolute disbelief here. Seeing these two just absolutely slug it out here. But one of these two men will be walking away the hardcore champion. Bawb go for a senton over the top rope and down to the floor, but Solo was able to roll underneath that apron only momentarily. Big leg drop from Solo. And Bawb equalizing this with a low blow there. A heavy haymaker, that might have been it.
3.
And just like last week, another clubbing strike has secured a victory for the hardcore champion. This was yet another hellacious defense for the KPW Hardcore Champion. It was another night, another Monday night for Bawb where he could inflict as much pain as he possibly wanted to, as he aims to be the ultimate hardcore champion here in KPW. And he's made one hell of a resume for that claim. Cory Sinclair, Steven Gielberg, Papyrus, and now Solo, all to the list of men that have fallen at the feet of the Misfit. Congratulations to the Misfit Bawb for retaining the KPW Hardcore Championship. And if we want to talk about championships, we know that neither men are in the building here tonight, but next week, the main event of Collision Course was set. And we are very well on our road to that very special event, November 29th, 9/8 Central here. These two men will be slugging it out for the KPW World Heavyweight Championship as the Viceroy takes on the Siberian Silver Bear. Jedi and Pando will be meeting in the ring next week for the official contract signing ahead of their major bout in just 1 week's time. But coming up next is tag team action, as the Boise Boyz go as the Boise Boyz engage Parliament in tag team action And this is all in a moment's notice. The Monarch, the secret weapon, trying to get on the same page here. Oliver English understands how crucial Hosway is to his operations. And he is here to make the most out of that opportunity. In just a short moment. If we want to talk about vicious, I don't think you can find a tag team more synonymous with that definition than the Boise Boyz, the former two-time KPW Tag Team Champions. And Parliament, they are willing to throw themselves into the fire just to try and keep Hosway within the ranks, within their helm here. You know, tensions have been high within the ranks of Parliament. Certainly the seeds of doubt settling in. But it is up to Oliver English to steer the ship. And the bell is officially rung. Oliver English standing toe-to-toe with David Rush. Hosway standing on the apron, looking on as the Monarch finally gets his hands dirty for once. Another collar and elbow tie-up from Oliver English. David Rush hangs onto the ropes. Oliver English considering a tag to Hosway. But Hosway is waiting and just hoping that Oliver English will actually step up and do something selfless here on behalf of Parliament. Hosway providing a quick assist here. Perhaps some sort of incentive for Oliver English to actually take action for once. Take leadership, take some umbrage for Parliament. Hosway, a former KPW Twitch champion. Oliver English, our first ever KPW World Heavyweight Champion. He's certainly etched his place into history. When Hosway makes the tag, he wants a piece of Hollywood Hannon. And if there's any man within the tag team division that could very feasibly, very reasonably put up a good fight against anybody and lay down an absolute beating, look no further than Hollywood Hannon. 6'6", 325 pounds of pure muscle. He has been the decisive factor in the Boise Boyz, winning 2 tag team championships here over the course of the past year and a half. And this is exactly the kind of man that Hosway wants to pick a fight with. We've seen him go toe-to-toe against the 500-plus pound man beast, Chris Billy, and walk away the victor. And we've seen Hosway defy the odds here in KPW many times before. No further than Vendetta back in the summer, that our first ever ladder match between Hosway and his mentor Popcorn Poppy. Those two absolutely waged war against one another. Oliver English Being set up for disaster here as David Rush unleashes a storm of strikes onto the Monarch. Tandem offense from the Boise Boyz. They are looking to deconstruct here tonight. It's been one hell of a void left open. We had a real changing of the guards back at Madhouse. New tag team champions in the Murder Hornets. Parliament desperate to keep Hosway at their services. Using the combined efforts of him and Oliver English to try and win the tag team championships. But how major of a setback, how major of a blow would it be if Parliament loses here tonight? Another roll-up attempt from Oliver English. Not even a one count this time. Low blow from David Rush as he scoop slams the Monarch. Irish whip. David Rush looks to meet him at the ropes with a shoulder tackle. Oliver English docks and Hosway gets the tag, but so does Hollywood Hannon. 30-minute time limit in effect here, ladies and gentlemen. These two teams are willing to put it all on the line here. Just for the opportunity to challenge the Murder Hornets for the tag team championships at the end of the month come Collision Course. Big suplex from Hollywood Hannon. And the Boise Boyz, they would have a lot to prove here. After what they would consider quite the uneventful 2025, they could have the golden opportunity to turn things around here tonight and become the first ever three-time tag team champions. For Parliament, losing Hosway, losing what they consider to be their secret weapon, would be completely detrimental to their success.
One, two.
Hosway returning inside the ring. And Hollywood Hannon maintaining a rock solid, a strong and steady advantage here. Not just Hosway, but Oliver English as well. He's been taking the fight to Parliament like nobody else here. And David Rush, a more calculated of the two, more level-headed. A man that is more than willing to set the record straight here. A snap suplex from Hosway. David Rush. Back elbow from David Rush. And we have to wonder, what kind of strategy does Parliament have in mind here? Was Parliament able to get on the same page before the bell rang for this tag team bout here tonight? We know that tensions have very certainly been flaring between Oliver English and Hosway, especially considering how things went at Madhouse. Where our world heavyweight champion Pando absolutely decimated them both in a 2v1 handicap match. Tandem offense from the Boise Boyz. Back suplex neck breaker combo. A second neck breaker takes down Oliver English, and a tag made back to Hollywood Hannon. The Boise Boyz keeping each other fresh with these very frequent tags. And yet another neck breaker from Hollywood Hannon. Oliver English easing his way back towards his tag team partner. He gets the tag. Irish whip from Hosway. A lion salt only stumbling back Hollywood Hannon. That size discrepancy on full display here. Hollywood Hannon with at least 100 pounds of advantage here tonight. Hurricane Rana from Hosway. Big knife edge chop takes down Hollywood Hannon. He's got all the real estate to chop him with. The largest body in this ring by a country mile. Quite possibly one of the biggest pecs here in KPW. On the chest of Hollywood Hannon. Pump handle drop from Hollywood Hannon. He's taking the fight to both members of Parliament. Hosway was looking for that hook kick, but Hollywood Hannon was able to duck it. Double spine buster onto Hosway. And considering the talent that's in this ring, it'd be unbelievable to say that Hosway and Oliver English, they're actually quite the underdogs going into this bout. We know how airtight the bond is between the Boise Boyz. They are two hearts beating as one. They are on the same tempo, at the same pace.
4, 5.
Every cell in their bodies is moving in the same direction. If Parliament wants to put a dent into the tag team division, they need to make this happen here tonight. If this olive branch that they are offering to Hosway means anything, they need to pick up this victory here tonight. They cannot settle for anything less. Irish whip. Hosway runs the ropes. Big forearm smash, taking down David Rush. And now Parliament looking to adopt the same strategy as the Boise Boyz. Trying to make frequent tags whenever they can. Try and conserve the energy, conserve the stamina. To ensure that they could get through the minutes as much as they need to. Shoulder tackles from the Monarch, Oliver English. David Rush slowly getting back to his feet. A back rake. Takes down David Rush yet again. And here comes a moment of truth here. Oliver English with a back suplex counter to David Rush. Hosway intervening for his tag team partner before returning to his corner. And Oliver English, he is taking this down to a slow and more methodical pace. He wants to be in full control of this bout here just as much as he wants to maintain control of Parliament. Schoolboy cover, but not even a 1 count. Hollywood Hannon, far and away the freshest man in this bout. Backdrop driver from Oliver English. And if Hollywood Hannon was the freshest man in this bout, a move like that would certainly turn the tides at a moment's notice. Tag made to Hosway. Neckbreaker onto Hollywood Hannon. Hosway stands his ground. Irish whip reversal. Tag made to David Rush. He sneaks in the tag. Hosway keeping his focus on the legal man. Shin breaker by David Rush. Ladies and gentlemen, still to come here tonight on War Zone. We hope to get some more explanations as to and a quick peek into the mind of the king of Stego style, Cory Sinclair. We saw that man snap just 9 nights ago at Madhouse as he sacrificed everything that he ever cared about just to defeat the 500-pound man beast, Chris Billy. Roger will be standing at ringside alongside Cory Sinclair to hopefully get some closure on the matter. And that's not all regarding Cory Sinclair. He's still in action against Pierre Cinema in our main event. Big suplex from David Rush to Hosway. Drop kick, but Hosway uses the ropes to stay on his own 2 feet here. Oliver English making the assist, and he gets the tag. Head scissors takedown from Hosway. Oliver English going low with a knee to the groin. And speaking of things to come next week on Warzone, we know that Chris Billy will be in the building next week. He'll be in singles action against the blue chipper Bam Dardino. And that's all to come in just a week's time. Also still to come, the faction war between Parliament and Bunker Hill continues as the 400-pound Papyrus represents Parliament against Popcorn Poppy, a man that certainly has a lot of history regarding some of the members of Parliament, especially Hosway. Bridging German suplex, but Hollywood Hannon's reach was enough for him to get to that middle rope and get the rope break. Also still to come next week, we'll be seeing Pierre Cinema in competition as he keeps the effort up to try and keep his win-loss record high, as he looks to keep his momentum high, as he tries to get one step closer to reclaiming the World Heavyweight Championship. A sentiment that Oliver English himself was very passionate about and very fruitful in over the course of the past several months. Also to come next week, the official contract signing for our main event, November 29th, Collision Course KPW World Heavyweight Championship, as Pando will be defending the gold against Jedi. And we are just only hoping to get the ink on the paper for what will almost certainly be one of the biggest bouts in KPW history. Tag team action to follow next week as well on Warzone, as we will see Slarty, Sigma Shuko, otherwise known as the First Nation, back to action. As I'm receiving word here, Tori continuing to mediate and intervene for Parliament, trying to make things right, trying to keep the harmony intact within the group, trying to keep the spirits high. She is elected to get Oliver English and Hosway another tag team match next week on Warzone, this time against Slarty and Shuko of the First Nation. But what kind of condition are they going to be in after everything's wrapped up, after everything's all said and done with the Boise Boyz? Only time will tell. And they have a little bit over 13 minutes to ensure that. David Rush, Hosway taking the fight to each other. They are just as motivated and as energized as they were from the moment the bell rang. Oliver English makes the tag. Hollywood Hannon makes the tag. Snap DDT on the Monarch. And the action spills to the outside. David Rush has steel steps in hand here. He's looking to clock the Monarch with those steps. And Oliver rushes back into the ring. Rib breaker onto Hollywood Hannon. Big forearm strike takes down the Monarch. We're only 2/3 of the way through this bout if needed. 30-minute time limit here on Warzone, our weekly episodic wrestling spectacular. As we are now 84 weeks and counting.
1, 2.
Into what may be the greatest sensation here. Across all of Twitch professional wrestling. Oliver English looking to go for a surfboard stretch on the 300+ pound Hollywood Hannon. Another big DDT from Hollywood Hannon. Oliver English trying to shift the tides back towards his favor. And now he's going for a choke on Hollywood Hannon. He's getting quite desperate here, as he's doing his absolute damnedest just to try and put down the Boise Boyz here tonight. Big clubbing strike takes down Oliver English down to all fours. I don't think he had any choice but to tag in Hosway there. David Rush getting involved here. Double suplex from Parliament. And Hosway, he's keeping the pressure up. He's keeping the intensity very high here. A back heel kick sends David Rush tumbling into the ropes here. And Hosway is absolutely unloading on the record breaker. Hurricanrana counter, but David Rush's feet are touching the ropes. A necessary rope break call there from Slap Thigh Jones. Hosway going for a leg lock. And yet again, Oliver English and Hosway are not able to put the Boise Boyz away. But Hosway, he is just a man possessed over the past minute or so. He has been able to really turn things around here. The moment he got that hot tag from Oliver English. And I think he wants Hollywood Hannon. He wants a piece of the big man now. And one has to wonder, maybe Hosway, he might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. Parliament doing everything that they can in unity for once, just to try and take down the 300-pounder. Irish whip reversal from Hollywood Hannon. Big Samoan drop. Another Irish whip reversal from Hollywood Hannon. And what a hell of a counter from Hosway. Only a 1 count, though. And he's starting to get underneath the skin of Hollywood Hannon. Hosway moving quick, moving vigilant. A hellacious forearm strike takes down all 325 pounds of Hollywood Hannon.
One,
Hosway
2.
in a real precarious position here. Assisted power bomb. And the referee, he's losing all control over this tag team bout. He needs to restore some serious order between these two teams here. Hosway getting in one final strike on David Rush as he comes crashing into those steel steps.
1, 2.
Oliver English, the legal man. Referee Slapthigh Joe's initiating that 20 count. Hosway getting sent to the outside. And this is just absolute pandemonium here tonight. We saw the intensity on full display when we saw Opulence make his debut here in KPW against Steven Gielberg. More than willing to make quite the example out of him. And we saw just previously the Hardcore Championship up for grabs as Bawb successfully defended against the Scrapyard Saint solo. Big shoulder tackle takes Oliver English onto the apron. He's only helped up to his feet by his tag team partner Hosway. Inside cradle, looking to steal it. And it's only the count of 1. Hollywood Hannigan sent to the outside. Hosway, perfect opening for a tag here. Double suplex. And he is drilling David Rush's head right into the canvas. David Rush goes for a low blow, but Hosway had his guard up. He was able to block that attempt. Quick kick to the shin of David Rush. And a hellacious clothesline from Hosway. Springboard moonsault. Hosway, with the assist of Oliver English, securing that Hurricane Rana. Leg lock, cinched in deep there. But good old David Rush, he was too close to the ropes. And Hosway, he's looking to put an end to this. David Rush, he ran right into it. Angel Dust. Trapping the arms for extra leverage. And I think David Rush, I think he got too much leverage on that because he was able to reach the ropes. Hosway still keeping the pressure high on David Rush. Hosway behind enemy lines now. Looking for a big frog splash, but nobody home. A perfect opportunity for Hollywood to tag in.
1, 2.
Side suplex from David Rush, trying to buy his tag team partner as much time as he can. Oliver English put in some work on David Rush, trying to keep it completely isolated to Hosway and Hollywood Hannon. And a big clubbing blow from Hollywood Hannon, but Hosway's back on his own 2 feet. Tag made to the Monarch. And we are getting deep and deeper into this tag team bout. Only 30-minute time limits allotted for tag team action here. This could very well go to a draw if nobody can secure a fall in the next 2 minutes. Hollywood Hannon, Oliver English, jostling for position, snap suplex from the Monarch. Another overhead club from Hollywood Hannon sends Oliver English packing to the outside. Tag made to David Rush. If anybody's been able to keep this bout alive for their team, it's certainly been David Rush. His expert in-ring positioning, his awareness. It was the one thing that made that save for the Boise Boyz just minutes ago when Hosway drilled David Rush on his neck with that angel dust. One of the most devastating maneuvers across all of KPW. Neckbreaker, looking to steal it. And Hollywood Hannon breaks up the pin just in time. 60 seconds left and counting. Oliver English getting desperate here. Referee's forcing Hosway to get back to his corner. Boise Boyz making the most out of this as Oliver English gonna tap. And Hosway actually intervening for the Monarch here. I can't believe what we're seeing here. They might actually be on the same page here. And I think that's all that the secret weapon wanted out of Oliver English. He just wanted to know that he wasn't as selfish as he thought he was. And it appears that this bout is about to go to a time limit draw.
Time up.
And what a war we just saw unfold here tonight on War Zone. All four of these men went to hell and back to make their claim here in KPW. All four of these men showed the world just how much that tag team championship could mean to them if given the opportunity to just shine. All four of these men were looking forward to step over one another just to get that opportunity. The Boise Boyz back in full force. Oliver English and Hosway is seemingly finally on the same page. Just an absolutely incredible showing here tonight from all four of these men. Neither of these teams may have walked out the victor, but they have certainly earned the respect of the Kumite Faithful. And speaking of respect, we have to refer and defer to a man that might have lost all respect here in KPW, the king of Stego style. Cory Sinclair, he's been in quite a bit of controversy in recent weeks, especially considering what unfolded at Madhouse when he threw away his code of honor just to defeat Chris Billy in a high stakes rematch. We're looking to go down to ringside where our resident interviewer Roger, he's hoping to get some words with the king of Stego style once and for all here before our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention, my guest here tonight is a man that's been well regarded from KPW's humble beginnings. A former 3-time hardcore champion, a 2-time Twitch champion, and the king of Stego style. Please give a warm welcome to Cory Sinclair.
The forum just absolutely letting Cory Sinclair have it here. And just the radical shift in personality that we've seen over the past several months, the frustration building up. And Cory Sinclair and where he thought he would be here in KPW just coming to an ultimate fever pitch back at Madhouse. And we saw Chris Billy get his retribution last week on War Zone, screwing Cory Sinclair out of a world title shot. And let's see how Cory Sinclair is going to unleash that energy here tonight against Pierre Cinema in the main event.
Cory, I think the people here have caught onto it, and maybe it's given you something to reflect upon. But you have really radicalized yourself in recent months, and we don't know if we're looking at the same man we've known since the start.
Roger, do you truly think? Shut the hell up.
He's getting, man, these fans are getting on the nerves of Cory Sinclair already.
Would be this close to getting to the world title? Do you think the old me would have stood a chance against guys like Pando? Shaking hands and kissing babies isn't what got me this far, Roger. It was ruthless aggression. Why the hell would I want to be the same man from before? Being a former Twitch champion and a former hardcore champion might mean the world to these people, but I'm not going to let these people try and create that ceiling for my career. Would any of these people here have the guts to fight a man like Chris Billy? Hell no. They'd rather invest in the next flavor of the month to step up and fail because they aren't willing to do what's necessary to succeed.
You have really grown obsessed with Chris Billy. What happened to upholding honor? What happened back at Madhouse? Fill me in on what you were thinking.
What happened at Madhouse was getting even. Chris Billy has done whatever he could to get in the last laugh, and Madhouse was a whole different story now, was it? If these idiots could understand for just a second, they'd remember that I always upheld tradition when the bell rings. A code of honor, chivalry, respect. Chris Billy does not fit the quota of a traditional man. I had to beat him to a bloody pulp. I had to snap that kendo stick over his body. Anything less and I wouldn't be standing here today. But you know what, Roger? That son of a bitch wasn't laughing.
It seems like Chris Billy has truly pinched some nerves with the conduct you've been making as of late. If you kept your cool, things might have gone a different way after Madhouse. And now at Collision Course, it is the man that pinned you last week, Jedi, taking on Pando for the KPW World Heavyweight Championship. Was this personal crusade worth it?
That night, if I kept my cool, I wasn't even going to bring up Wrestle Scream, but you want to push buttons to pull ratings. That thick-headed bastard cost me my meal ticket to the top. That shot was mine and that sore loser stole it away. You call me down to the ring before my match for an interview. And you want to talk about everybody except me. You want to talk about how I should keep my cool. Maybe you should learn when to keep your mouth shut.
And it looks like he's looking to take out his frustrations here on our resident interviewer. And I think he's been saved by the tune of Pierre Cinema's music here. That's twice tonight that Pierre Cinema had to make a serious intervention here. And look at the twisted irony here tonight with Cory Sinclair talking about how Chris Billy was such a sore loser. He got even. He won the match. He beat Chris Billy. He's 1-1 with the man.
Fight!
And here he is, just airing out his grievances about what he thinks he's owed here. Fireman's carry from Cory Sinclair. He is looking to make an example out of Pierre Cinema here tonight. I thought for sure we were going to see Cory Sinclair stoop to another level, further and further below, as we've just seen him just embrace more and more circles of hell. I really thought we were going to see him lay his hands on Roger before Pierre was able to make that crucial interruption. Super kick from Cory Sinclair. He's looking to keep that pressure up and keep that pressure high. And this is that mean streak, that vicious side that we've been talking about. It's been on full display ever since he lost that Hardcore Championship. He's been frustrated about where he's been positioned here in this company. He got his dream match against Chris Billy, and look at what he was willing to sacrifice just to quote unquote get even. What we saw at the end of that match at Madhouse, that was not getting even. He was looking to one up the man beast. He already had him beat. He already had him broken down to a bloody pulp. And that still wasn't enough for him. What we saw last week on Wrestle Scream, now that was getting even. As Pierre Cinema brings Cory Sinclair back inside the ring with that suplex over the top rope and down towards the center of the mat. Cory Sinclair with those back-to-back rolling wheel kicks. He's trying to bust open Pierre Cinema. We saw that same strategy on display at Madhouse when he did that to the 525-pound man beast, Chris Billy. But Pierre Cinema, he is a valiant fighter. He will take on as many beatings as he possibly can, and at the end of the day, he will still get right back up and demand more. If anybody has truly encompassed the fighting spirit of KPW, it is almost certainly Pierre Cinema. Falcon arrow from Cory Sinclair. Handspring back elbow denied by Francis, greatest export. By the star traction of clothesline sends Pierre to the outside. Crashing and tumbling all the way down to the floor. Cory Sinclair pumping the brakes there. He was looking to keep the offense on the outside if he wanted to. But he wants the whole world to see just exactly what he's capable of. If he could defeat Pierre Cinema here tonight, who knows how much that could do to his career. And we saw how much of an impact it's had on somebody like Popcorn Poppy last week on Wrestle Scream. He competed one-on-one against Pierre Cinema, and he actually scored the win.
One.
Sunset flip cover.
Count 2.
And he almost didn't kick out of that. Pierre Cinema caught Cory Sinclair by surprise. Crucifix pinfall attempt, another rope break. Cory Sinclair with a slingshot shoulder block into the back of Pierre Cinema. He takes him down, and now he's going for a Achilles lock onto the challenger. Cory Sinclair thinking of some top rope offense here. Corkscrew senton takes down Pierre. Hook in the leg.
2. Count 2.
And another kick out. At the very last second, that twitch instinct, that muscle memory on display from Pierre Cinema as he keeps the pressure up, as he keeps that pressure high on Cory Sinclair. And we are just looking at a man that has just completely lost it. He is absolutely snapped. The 180 that we've seen in demeanor from this man is just absolutely disgusting. It's just sickening to think that Cory Sinclair would be so willing to just throw away all of his beliefs, all of his morals, his code of conduct, his honor, his chivalry. And for what? Just an opportunity to become a world heavyweight champion? Pierre Cinema fighting with everything that he's got here. A rolling wheel kick, taking down Pierre Cinema. Handspring back elbow. Cover.
1, 2. Count 2.
And Pierre pops up at 2. And what we are seeing in front of our very eyes here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this is a war that has truly unfolded. We saw how hellacious of a fight Opulence was willing to give to Steven Gielberg in our opening bout, as Opulence, the newest member of the KPW locker room, made such an immediate splash here. And of course, Pierre Cinema, the man in that ring in the blue trim, the man had to make that crucial save to Opulence. And he took the time and the energy just to make that save and to put Steven Gielberg through the announcer's desk. Brainbuster onto Cory Sinclair. And you can see the difference in priorities here tonight, especially regarding Pierre Cinema and his newfound arch rival in Steven Gielberg. Steven Gielberg was so hell-bent, so personally driven to try and ruin this man's life. Pierre Cinema is just trying to wipe a slate clean. He's trying to wipe his hands clean of the mess that Steven Gielberg is trying to create for him, so he can get back on track and get right back to where he was before, being a world heavyweight champion.
11, 12.
Acai moonsault once again from Pierre Cinema.
14, 15, 16,
Cory Sinclair, what the hell is he thinking here?
17.
Cory Sinclair's got that kendo stick. Shades of Madhouse. It delivers a headbutt to the groin of Pierre Cinema. Pierre retrieving that kendo stick. All's fair in love and war here tonight on War Zone. We saw Bawb and Solo push each other to their limits in a hellacious Hoss fight for the Hardcore Championship. We saw the Boise Boyz and Parliament go to a 30-minute time limit draw. This night in particular has been a real proving grounds for the KPW locker room. Cory Sinclair trying to use that kendo stick on Pierre Cinema once again. And even compared to the man that we've come to know and expect just a month ago, this is just a completely different side of Cory Sinclair. And he drills Pierre with the kendo stick.
1,
That's gotta be it.
count 2.
No! Thank God! Pierre Cinema was able to kick out after all that. Another collar and elbow tie-up attempted by Cory Sinclair. Pierre Cinema counters it. Pierre looking to go for a brainbuster. Snap suplex onto the kendo stick. Springboard moonsault.
2, count 2.
Cut in the corner on that turnbuckle there. Only a 2 count. Another rolling wheel kick from Cory Sinclair. Now he's got the kendo stick and... oh my God. Don't tell me he's gonna do this again. Is this really worth it, you son of a bitch? And Pierre's been able to disarm Cory Sinclair with and break him free of that kendo stick. And now he's trying to choke out Pierre Cinema with that triangle choke. Super kick takes down Pierre Cinema. And Cory's going right back to that kendo stick. I can't bear to see this. I can't bear to watch this. This is just so grotesque. This is just disgusting.
One, two, three, pinfall.
And Cory Sinclair continues to betray the man that he once was before. To secure yet another major victory. And look at that. Tossing aside the kendo stick as if we didn't know what he did with that. As if we didn't see what unfolded in front of us over the course of the past minute. That absolute onslaught with the kendo stick. That was the difference maker. That was what put down Pierre Cinema, and the whole world knows it. Cory Sinclair, a new man, a bitter man, completely exploiting the trust of the Kumite Faithful after all this time. when the prospect of World Heavyweight Championship opportunities came rushing forward. He decided that he didn't need the trust of the faithful anymore. And what the hell is this? That's Bloom, and that's Bilko. That's the scheme. What the hell are they doing out here? Seems like this night is just getting weirder and weirder. Cory Sinclair rolling underneath the bottom rope there. And what the hell is this? The scheme! They're going right after Pierre Cinema! If this wasn't already insult to injury, Pierre Cinema is now locked in the lion's den with these two maniacs. Cory Sinclair taking hold of that timekeeper's belt. They can't call for anybody to assist at ringside. Pierre is all by himself here. Another betrayal of chivalry, like Cory Sinclair.
Knockout.
Has just betrayed everything that he's ever known. The scheme intervening here, busting up and busting Pierre Cinema wide open with that sledgehammer. Absolutely sickening, absolutely disgusting display that we're seeing here in our main event of the evening. The ring starting to fill with garbage from the Kumite Faithful. They're letting you know exactly how they feel about you, Mr. Sinclair. This is the legacy that you are choosing. And the scheme, they're marching back up towards the aisleway, and that picture tells exactly 1,000 words. The scheme is on the same page with Steven Gielberg. And what kind of connection is going to be established in the weeks to come here? Tune in next week for War Zone to find out. I've been Tapey Styles, the only man that can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. Wishing you a good night, everybody.